Good morning. Rufus here. Today's a big day. I'm finally picking up the new baler wrapper I've been dreaming about for quite a while now. Up until now, I've spent a lot of time making bales with pretty poor equipment, but this new setup can make bigger bales, and more importantly, it can bale and wrap at the same time. So I'm really curious to see how much time it'll save. Hopefully quite a bit, because I've got a lot to get through today. First, I need to cut and rake the grass. Then I've got to head into town and pick up the baler wrapper. And if there's still some time left after all the baling, I'd really like to seed the new section of the field I carved out, where the woods used to be. Oh crap. I can see I missed a few stumps while preparing the field yesterday. Well, that's exactly why I prefer working in daylight. Those things weren't easy to spot in the dark. So yeah, I'll have to remove them before I seed the field. Anyway, once I'm done seeding this new section, my entire property will more or less be covered in grass fields, which should provide a pretty decent income from silage every year. The money I make this season will go straight into buying more land, because I desperately need more space if I'm going to keep expanding the farm. Alright, I'm just about done preparing the grass for baling. It does take a while though. Cutting and raking the grass takes about 6 hours. Seaman told me there's this massive machine that can cut and rake at the same time. But it's ridiculously expensive. Nearly $400,000. That would pretty much be the ideal setup though. Then I'd be able to make bales in just 2 operations. First cutting and raking, then baling and wrapping. But I'd probably need a few more grass fields before an investment like that makes sense. I don't think it's worth it as long as I've only got 2 fields. Anyway, time to head into town and pick up that baler wrapper. Alright, this is the one I'm going for. Matches the tractor perfectly. A red Massey Ferguson baler wrapper. Costs 84.5 grand, which is pretty much everything I've got left. So hopefully I won't run into any unexpected expenses over the next couple of months, because I won't have much more money coming in before the bales are ready to sell in January. I'm curious to find out how much time this machine will actually save me. With my old equipment, I used to spend around 4.5 hours baling and another 5 wrapping. So altogether, baling and wrapping used to take nearly 10 hours. If I can get it done in half the time, I'll be really pleased with that. Alright, let's see how this thing works. Why is it not picking up the grass? Is something wrong with it? Maybe some technical issue? Oh, I forgot to lower the pickup. So not a technical issue, just me not being used to fancy equipment. Looks like it's working fine now. Oh, I thought I could just keep baling while it was wrapping. Okay, so it looks like I need to wait a few seconds after each bale before I can keep going. Alright, let's find out how long this actually takes. It's 12:30 now, so as long as I'm done before 9 tonight, I'll beat the time I spent with the old setup. Alright, I'm nearly done baling and wrapping in less than 5 hours. That's pretty awesome. Just imagine how much time that frees up going forward. Time I can spend doing other things around the farm. I've also switched over to traditional white wrap. I used to run black wrap because I thought it'd be easier to spot the bales in the snow. But it turns out working in darkness is a much bigger issue here than snow. So I figured I might as well go with white wrap now that I had the chance. Anyway, there's still a few hours of daylight left, so I think I've got enough time to get those seeds in the ground before I call it a day. That should give me a bit more yield from the third cut in November. But first I'm going to move all the bales off the fields and count them, just to get a rough idea of what they're worth. Alright, I ended up with 65 bales. Last cut I got over 100. but those bales were smaller. The new machine makes bigger bales, which, according to Seaman, should be worth around $1,000 each. So the second cut should bring in around 65 grand. Then I'll probably get around the same amount from selling the black bales. So hopefully I'm looking at roughly 130 grand so far. And then I've still got the third cut in November. The yield will probably be lower by then, but hopefully I can still squeeze out another 40 bales or so. I need every dollar I can get if I'm going to buy more land and get a few more income streams up and running, not to mention paying down Darlene's debt. Honestly, I'd almost forgotten about that for a while. But it's not really something I can prioritize at this stage. Right now, I need to invest in the farm and keep expanding. Anyway, I've got to head into town for some more lime, get the field ready for planting. I'm starting to get used to this front loader now, and honestly, everything's just easier with the new tractor. I remember how good old Swifty used to struggle lifting these bags of lime. I actually had to load them onto a trailer because Swifty couldn't handle them. Anyway, I've still got quite a few things to do before I can seed the new section of the field. First, I need to remove those last stumps. Then I've got to get some lime and fertilizer down before I can seed and roll the field. But the area is not that large, so hopefully I'll be done before midnight. We'll see. Alright, I'm just about done rolling, and I'm really glad I'm nearly finished, because I hate rolling, especially in the dark. It's by far the worst thing I do on this farm. It also looks like there are quite a few big stones out there, so I'll probably need to invest in a stone picker at some point. But for now, it should be alright. I'm really glad I got my hands on that baler wrapper though. It gave me just enough time to finish the new section of the field and get it ready for the third and final cut of the season. And honestly, it finally feels like I've caught up on everything that needed doing. So next month, the only things I should really need to do are putting down some fertilizer and waiting for the third cut in November. Actually, I think next month might be the first time since I took over this place that I'll have some time to relax a bit. Just walk around the property and look at everything I've managed to build in a little over a year. But I should enjoy it while I can, because November's going to be busy with the third cut. And once winter arrives and the bale money starts coming in, there'll be a lot of work to do preparing new land. But for now, I'm definitely calling it a night. Take care, and see you later.